New video shows a tourist in Cincinnati being beaten bloody and unconscious, all while onlookers stand around and mock and laugh at this horrific scene and these horrific injuries. Now, we've got to warn our viewers that the following footage is very graphic. If you have small children in the room, we advise that you let them leave now. Let's take a look.
Someone please call 911.
Really sick. Now, the reporting officer initially indicated that this may have been the result of a hate crime, stating in the incident report that the beating potentially had anti-white motives. But the Cincinnati Police Department has since backed away from that claim. Joining us now with reaction, former LAPD Detective Mark Fuhrman and former NYPD Detective Bo Dietl. All right, let's go to the original Bo report. Hate, bias, yes, anti-white. That's what the original report says. And that was on July 4th. Multiple subjects jumped on, assaulted victim during an unruly crowd situation stemming from an event. Then we go to July 7th. They update the report saying, no bias, not applicable here.
And also in the report, you see simple assault. The guy had a broken nose, he had a concussion, he had facial bones broken in his cheeks, and that's a felonious assault, I think, in anywhere in America. Now, as far as what I saw, the people around him, there were obvious African Americans around. If it was reversal with a black man on the ground with white guys hanging around him, you know, Sean, that would have been put down as a bias crime. We may be having a riot today.
No, I agree. Mark Fuhrman, what is your take on it?
Well, I agree with Bo wholeheartedly. It was a felony assault. I mean, that was without question. And I'm sure as soon as the supervisors, the upper echelon of the Cincinnati Police Department got to work Tuesday morning, they went busy changing this because they didn't want anything to do with an anti-white attack with black suspects. And Bo is correct. If this was a black man on the ground and these were all white people that were beating him and laughing at him and failing to render any kind of an aid, well, then we would have Al Sharpton in town and we would have a riot. And I suppose the response should be, I guess, if we are seeing the conduct of many of these cities, that there should be a lot of white people right now looting and burning down the town because they're so angered over the treatment of this young man. This is so
sick, evil, and twisted that that one person in this crowd, which I would argue then becomes a mob. Look, we have a witness view of the Cincinnati fight taking place, showing the victim majorly outnumbered, being beaten here. Let's roll that tape, if we can, at some point. You know, look at this whole thing. Being beaten, he's thrown to the ground. Bo, I mean,
Wouldn't you think now, with this assault occurring, that you would wait, look at the guy, and happens to be an African-American punching. I'm seeing it happen before my eyes. Now, wouldn't you think that this case would be given to the detectives? You would, first of all, interview the complainant that was beat up and say, was there any racial slurs or anything, statements made while they were beating you up? That's one. Number two, you would look for other witnesses to interview other witnesses. Then you upgrade it to a bias crime. If, in fact, they used a racial slur against them, it should be a racial crime. If it was the other way around, that's exactly what would happen.
Mark, we'll give you the last word.
Bo's correct again. There has to be a motive for the crime. If it's not mutual combat, if it's not the victim starting a fight, just exactly what is it? And I think what we come down to, it is a racially motivated crime, and he was beaten and laughed at, and he's left there for dead because he was white. And if he was black, the whole scenario would be different. Now, I just think there's one other thing that we're seeing in this nation. If a young black man does anything, his conduct is never questioned. Whether it's criminal, whether it's in a riot, whether it's against a police officer, he is always right. And if he isn't right and he's proven wrong, still his conduct is never questioned.
We have all these people on videotape. Every one of them should be arrested.
Absolutely.
Every single one. And After
Everyone.
we still have a lot of people in Ferguson, Missouri that haven't been arrested, and we know who they are. I got to run. Guys, thank you. When we come back.